Welcome to the All Financial Hour podcast with Steve All.
Steve, how are you? Welcome.
I'm doing fantastic. I love this early fall weather that we're having. Not too hot, little chilly in the morning. I love this time of year when we're gonna, I was out in the yard and some of the trees are actually starting to turn and the leaves are going to fall off of them soon. And I just love the fall. But, oh, my, did I have the weekend of my life last weekend.
Tell me about it.
I got to go down to Nashville for the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. And we had access beyond anything of my dreams. And I got to go, and people, please listen. They're going to be either on the radio show, podcasts, and stuff like that. But I had the opportunity to be in interviews with Will Power, Alex Pillow, Colton Herta. That was like my first day of Christmas. And then we go out to the track on Saturday, and my son's favorite Indianapolis 500 driver, Tony Kanaan. And I got to talk with him. And then Zach Brown came in. Zach Brown is the team principal for their Formula One teams, who that next day they're back at the Constructors Champion. So these guys are all going that way. And then when we get to the actual race and that night, my favorite driver when he was growing up was Little Al Unser Jr. Mm-hmm. And him, Scott Borchetta, and the team principal from Hendricks Racing sat and talked for about a half hour. And then I got to ask Little Al about that 92 Indianapolis 500 when we didn't know who won the race. It was so close. It's still the closest race in IndyCar history. And just sitting and listening to these guys talk was phenomenal. Then a great race on Sunday. One of the guys I interviewed, we actually got to go to Victory Circle and get our pictures taken with them. So it was an event for me, being an Indianapolis 500 fan, was just phenomenal. It's like I told the people that took us down there, I said, for me, this was like Christmas Day 3 years in a row as a kid for somebody like me. It was amazing. I keep all my Indianapolis 500 tickets, and I was running around having these guys sign tickets, and it was just great. It was fun. So much access. It was just unbelievable.
That is amazing. I mean, my gosh, talk about a bucket list situation for you. Meeting all these guys, interviewing them, getting everything signed, getting to hang with them. I mean, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah, because, I go to the Indianapolis 500, but I'm the guy that, we've got our seats. We're in the first turn up in the penthouse. So, I go to my seat. I sit there, get there probably an hour and a half to 2 hours early for all the pre-race festivities. Watch the race, got the headphones on, the TV's across so we can watch what's going on, and I got the radio so I can hear because you can't see all the track anymore. Mm-hmm. And I've got all of these things, but when the race is over, we just kind of pack up, head back to the car because me and the other 500,000 people that were there that day are all trying to be the first one out of there type of a mentality. So the traffic's a nightmare. But this was fun because we actually got to go in and go to Victory Circle. I got to meet Scott Dixon. It was just, like I said, Christmas Day, 3 days in a row.
I love that. I love hearing that. I can tell the excitement. You talk about Christmas Day. It really is. It's like you're a 10-year-old kid just so excited you're in that candy store. And I love hearing these stories. I love it. This is a bucket list item for you. And yeah, we'll feature some of that audio. And of course, we'll share pictures and video, whatever you have on social media. So, our listeners can check that out. And listen, if you're a fan of whether it's NASCAR or Indy or whatever it is, give a call to Steve. I pretty much can tell you, you're going to be busy on the phone for the next hour or 2 hours. I mean, Steve is a hardcore fan. So that's amazing. I'm super, super excited you got to do that, buddy.
Oh, like I said, it was a dream come true for me. I told him, Scott, if you invite us back next year, I'd be more than happy to come back again. Any year you need me here, I'd be more than happy to come. It was just phenomenal.
Speaking of one of those vehicles of getting you to retirement, your 401k. Well, it may have come under, some increased scrutiny recently because they were never intended to become a retirement plan. A wealth advisor, Nicole Webb, tells Fox Business that 401ks are for saving. They're not necessarily just a plan.
they were the third leg of a stool. It was Social Security, and then what was more common when there was the inception of the 401k, which was a pension, the second leg, and then the third leg was this savings account, that excess bucket for additional liquidity that you could tap into over and above 2 fixed income streams. Now it's a lot of the onus of retirement savings has been put on the employee and only on the employee. And so it's really about getting ahead of, don't make that the only place you're saving money, and how are you building out the 3 legs of your stool.
Okay, interesting here. So let's talk about this, Steve. What can we do to create a second guaranteed income stream besides Social Security?
Oh, I think Nicole hit the nail right on the head. We had a 3-legged stool. Now we got a 2-legged stool. You are responsible for your own retirement with a 2-legged stool. So we got to figure out how you're going to replace that income in retirement. You know, Cindy had come into the office. She had alimony and she had a Social Security check, but it didn't meet her lifestyle expenses. And I'm going to say a lot of you people out there are kind of like Cindy. How do we fill that gap between what our fixed or guaranteed incomes are and our lifestyle? Because that's what we want to retire to. And I like to call it, you know, how do we do a personally funded pension? So what am I doing? I'm going to set back some of that 401k money. And if I can set back a portion of it that will guarantee my lifestyle expenses, that's what I'm going to look at to do. Because then I know that my lifestyle's covered, and then those extras, that extra money that's in the 401k or savings outside of the 401k, that money is there and now available if I need it in the future. So if you're looking, how do I, quote, replace that paycheck? Give me a call. Ask about that personally funded pension. And if you have an annuity with an income rider and you haven't turned it on yet, call and ask for that annuity x-ray so that we have the availability to look at it, because with the interest rates still up, sometimes we can actually replace that annuity with a higher income. You might have an extended surrender charge period, but if you're turning on a lifetime income, that's not as big of a deal. Give me a call now. Ask about the personally funded pension and how you can replace your paycheck in retirement.
You know, Steve, I was reading about a Wall Street firm that asked its stock traders to play Texas Hold'em poker to teach them about risk and how to make the most of it, really. So I'm going to ask you here, how is retirement like the game of poker when it comes to risk?
Now, remember, they said that Wall Street firm was doing their stock traders to do it. They weren't saying that your money is like you're playing poker. And I like to look at it, it's the old Kenny Rogers song. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. And every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser. So I think that it goes from there. But some of the things that I look at in the investment world is knowing when to take risk. What usually happens, the old adage is most individual investors kind of do it backwards. They buy high and sell low. So know when to take the risk is very important. And I think the overconfidence. I can remember that joyful stages in the late 90s when almost all of us thought we can retire soon. And then 2000 hit and our 401ks became 201ks and we got to start all over again. So overconfidence, I think, that can do. And then I look at the fact of what's the timing? Where am I at? Which asset am I talking about? How much time do I have that? I'm going to be more aggressive with a Roth account than I would with my traditional IRAs. Why? I got a longer time frame. And then when I pass away, my kid's got 10 more years. So the time frame is big. And I think the biggest one, because most people have watched the Texas Hold'ems now, avoid going all in, because it's like I can do well, and people have. And most people will tell you, well, Uncle Joe put his money in ABC stock and he quadrupled his money, or he did this and he did that. But we don't hear about a lot of times when guys do that about the losers. So we have to look at those things as it goes. And I look at it, my investment philosophy is give me the best return that I can possibly get with the least amount of risk possible. That's why Market Guard is the preliminary advisory firm that we have do our assets. Why? Because of the fact he does those things that are very smart. They're methodical. They're mathematical, non-emotional. Because I think emotions cause the biggest problems for people when they invest. And most people, when they come in or they talk to me and when I meet them out, the questions are always the same. Steve, is it time to sell? Well, let's take the emotions out of that. Let's make it methodical and math. Steve, should I hold? Same thing. Let's take the emotions away. And if you have sold, when did you get back in? And I think those things are the most important decisions that almost anybody's going to make when it comes to the investment world. And that's where I believe Market Guard does an absolutely fantastic job with that. We had a person call us up and he says, I think I ought to have my stuff in T-bills. Markets are a little volatile right now with the presidential election and the change with Kamala Harris coming in and bringing a little bit more uncertainty. We've had a little bit more volatility in our markets the last 2 to 3 weeks. So what causes that? Uncertainty causes volatility. But it was nice when you could actually sit there and look at it and say, part of the portfolios, if you want to be more conservative, will adjust back away from the market when we hit the headwinds like we're hitting right now. We have problems in Israel. We have a Federal Reserve that we're not sure exactly which direction they're going to go and how fast are they going to do it. So we've got a lot of things going on right now that says it might not be a bad time to be a little bit more defensive. But the greatest thing about it, I can also take that guy that wants to be as aggressive as you want to be, and I've got models for you too. So no matter which way you go, I still want the exact same thing, the best return with the least amount of risk possible. So if you're not sure how much risk you're taking for the return that you're getting, call now. Ask for the risk reward analysis. And if you just have questions on a different philosophy around management, call. Ask about Market Guard.
Lots of folks out there, they claim their Social Security before age 70 and their full retirement age. In a recent survey, when told that they would get a smaller monthly check, 75% said they don't care. While some may be worried about Social Security being depleted, most told the poll that they'll just go ahead, retire, and take the benefits. So, Steve, how does this conversation go with your clients when they want to do something like this, and how can you help maximize these benefits?
I think the greatest thing around Social Security is the optimization of benefits. Because maximizations, both of y'all live till you're age 70, turn it on at age 70 and both live forever. That's when you get the maximum amount that you can possibly get. And I always joke around, if you tell me the day you're going to pass away, I'll tell you the best day for you to start Social Security. But the idea around it is I don't get that information. So I go with a couple of rules of thumbs. Single, if you're single, do you need it? You have to have incomes below around $23,000 if you're still working. It's designed for retirement. And it's after full retirement age, you can make as much as you want. So I look at that for the person. How many assets do they have? Do they have children from a previous marriage and they're now single? There's a whole lot of questions that come into that for the single person. I think it's a lot more complex when we go to the married couples. Why? Because of the survivor benefit, and almost everybody forgets about that. What's the Social Security amount going to be when one of the two pass away? The amount of the larger check will stay. So if the larger earner had it, they'll just keep getting their check. If the lower earner or the smaller Social Security, they'll get their Social Security plus enough of their spouse's Social Security, so the amounts are about the same. So that's where we look at it for the optimization of benefits. If you or your spouse is going to live past age 80, delaying is the best thing that you can possibly do. Delay. The one that, the larger earner, delay as fast as you can. So you go for those ideas, and then we start to look at it. Is how do we manage these things? What am I going to do if I don't turn on my Social Security? I said, well, if you've got an extra large IRA account, we're going to spend some of those assets down. Why? Because with RMDs being so late, you might not spend those down. And if we don't spend them down, we're going to pass a tax time bomb on to our kids. So we look at it in more than just one light, that one check. Because a lot of people are surprised when they take their pension, they take their Social Security, and then they hit required minimum distributions, and their taxes jump up tremendously. If they would have spent down some of those IRA assets only 85% of your Social Security is taxed under current law, up to 85%. So there's more to it, but what we're offering, Social Security optimization. If you haven't turned it on, give us a call. If you've already turned it on, I can't really change anything. Can't be done in a vacuum. We are going to need to gather the information to see if it would make sense for you to delay, and do you have the assets to actually delay taking your Social Security. So give us a call now. Ask for that Social Security optimization report.
Thanks for listening to the All Financial Hour podcast.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business All Insurance Group, LLC, AIG. All Financial Group, LLC is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by All Insurance Group, LLC, AIG are not subject to investment advisor requirements. IPW and All Insurance Group, LLC, AIG are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This radio show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. All Financial Group, LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by All Financial Group, LLC.
This radio show is intended for information purposes only.